Welcome to Season 2 of Why Your Business is Invisible Online. This season, we focus on the dramatic change artificial intelligence is having on your online visibility. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
Hi, this is Jim Filatico. I'm currently obsessed with planning my next beach adventure for my whole family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs. We're talking about AI this season. I'm wondering, can I get an AI agent to clean my house?
And I'm your host, John Manatis, still glued to my guitar, but with my new band planning our next tour. We're here again with another episode of Are You Invisible Online, and we're looking forward to continuing the conversation with respect to the tools that are out there in the space of conversational AI. And Kelly again is going to introduce this next tool, which we feel is pretty impressive. The way it can take in information, take in data and information, and then come up with insights and pull insights in a very concise way. We think you'll be just as impressed, and we think you'll find a lot of use cases in your world to apply a tool like this. So with that, I'm just going to hand it over to Kelly to talk a little bit about this new one.
Yeah, thanks so much, John. I want to start by where Jim kind of stopped at the end of the last call. Jim talked about how you can train a chat. And this is the tool that we're going to explore now is Notebook LLM. It's a Google tool, actually. And so you can just log into Notebook LLM. Anyway, what you can do is create mini projects. And the difference between this and using like a chat GPT or other things is the universe is not its oyster unless you want it to be. They've added some discover pieces on it where you can just say, I don't know what I want to write about this topic, and you can have it discover. But in general, it will stay confined to the sources that you give it. So what I did to prep for this is I gave it the source from when we had our conversation, our podcast with Robert earlier in the season, and also with Seamus earlier in the season. And so it has notes and it understands what the podcast is about. And so now I want to share with you a podcast that it created. So we're going to be listening in on an AI podcast about our podcast. So anyway, it'll be fun. Here we go.
Ever get the feeling that things online are changing so fast? It's like the ground is shifting under our feet. Like it used to be if you had a question, you just went to Google or whatever and typed in a few words, and then you had to sift through all those links. But things are so different now.
Yeah. And the speed at which things are evolving is incredible. It's not like a gradual change. It's a complete transformation in how we find and understand information.
Exactly. And that's actually something I wanted to touch on with, you mentioned how much you enjoyed the second season of the podcast, Why Your Business is Invisible Online.
Yeah.
Especially the parts about AI.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We did a really deep dive into those conversations with Robert Mitchell, the Chief AI Officer at WSI, and Seema Smith, their lead AI strategist.
Right.
It's like they're leading us through this whole new world of AI.
They really do offer a unique perspective on this rapidly changing landscape.
Yeah. And what we wanted to do today is pull out the most important insights and those aha moments from their discussions and share them with you, without you having to listen to the whole thing yourself. So are you ready to jump in?
Absolutely.
Okay. So one of the things that both Robert and Seamus talked about was just how much AI is becoming a part of our everyday lives and how that's changing the way we search for information.
Right.
Robert Mitchell really emphasized this idea of AI as an everyday tool. He even gave examples like using AI to come up with cookie recipes or even to write songs for business workshops.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not just this futuristic technology. It's something we can use right now in very practical ways.
And I think that shift in mindset is really important. The more we use AI in our personal lives, the more natural it'll become to rely on it for finding information. And as Robert pointed out, younger people are already doing this. They're using ChatGPT and things like Perplexity and Gemini as their main sources of information.
Right, because it gives you that instant interaction. You're not clicking through ads or going through tons of links. You just ask and you get an answer.
Yeah.
And that has big implications for traditional search engines and for SEO as a whole.
Exactly. Google's already changing things like They're giving AI overviews at the top of search results, and the old ways of SEO are starting to lose their effectiveness.
So it sounds like relying solely on those old SEO techniques is no longer enough.
Yeah, it's not just about getting to the top of the search results page anymore.
Right, and this is where things get really interesting.
Oh.
They talk a lot about the search generative experience, or SGE. It's not just about keywords anymore, is it?
No, not at all. Both Robert and Seamus said that old SEO tactics like repeating keywords over and over or using shady backlinks are not going to work in this new AI world.
So how do you get your content seen in these AI-generated responses?
They both agreed that you need to create content that is rich in context and that really addresses the user's intent. Robert called this semantic storytelling. Like, imagine a company selling hiking backpacks instead of just listing features. They should create stories about people using their backpacks on real adventures, maybe even a story about someone hiking a famous trail with their dog.
Okay, so it's about connecting with the meaning behind a search, not just the words themselves.
Exactly.
And Seamus talked about information gain. He said, if your next word is the same as everyone else's, you're not differentiated. So you have to offer something unique.
Right. Whether it's original data, personal experiences, unique research, you need to stand out.
Okay.
I'm pausing it right there because I want to share something else with you. You know, we've been listening and I'm a little jealous. And so now I want to get in on my own podcast. And so that's available now too. So watch this. Hi there.
Ever get the feeling that things online are, oh, wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Hey, if you skip ahead, I know you were talking about with Seamus and with Robert, how Seamus talked about this concept of information gain. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts there.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah, the information gain concept is really key.
As Seamus put it, if what you're saying is the same as everyone else, you're not standing out.
Exactly. It's about bringing something new to the table.
Think of it like this. The AI is sifting through tons of information. It's looking for the sources that offer the most value, the freshest perspective.
So just repeating general knowledge isn't going to cut it anymore.
Not at all. You need to offer a unique angle.
Whether that's original research, a surprising statistic, or even a personal story that illustrates a point.
Precisely. It's about enriching the overall information landscape.
It makes you think differently about the content you create, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more as we go through some of the highlights from Robert. Oh, go for it.
Yeah. So I'm curious, as you were sifting through everything, could you tell me, like, just give me, if I had to just remember 3 big things about this podcast, what would they be?
That's a fantastic question. Let's see.
If I had to boil it down to 3 key takeaways.
The first big thing would definitely be the fundamental shift in search.
Right. It's not about those blue links anymore. AI is giving answers.
Exactly. Seamus really hammered that point home.
The second thing would be the importance of quality and unique content.
That information gain we were just discussing.
Precisely. You need to offer something different to stand out.
And the third big thing, I'd say it's the need to adapt your strategy.
Absolutely. What worked for traditional search engines isn't enough now.
Okay, so keeping those 3 things in mind. Okay, so one of the things that both Robert and Seamus really highlighted was just how much AI is weaving its way into our daily routines.
Right.
Robert Mitchell was particularly enthusiastic about seeing AI as an everyday tool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not this abstract, far-off concept anymore.
And embracing that shift in perspective seems really crucial.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering from your perspective, if CMO, I believe that both guests talked about this. Like if you had to, as a CMO, do one thing that you were going to change, or a CEO in your business, could you tell me what you think that would be?
That's a really insightful question. If a CMO or CEO had to make one key change based on our conversations.
I think the biggest shift would be in truly embracing an AI-first mindset across the organization.
Exactly. Robert Mitchell put it so strongly. There are 2 kinds of businesses.
Right. Those using AI and those that will be closed. That urgency is key.
So that single change would involve actively exploring and implementing AI solutions.
And not just in a superficial way, but really integrating it into their core strategies.
This includes training employees, identifying specific use cases, and developing a clear AI plan.
It's about future-proofing the business, as Robert emphasized.
Absolutely. Now, going back to how AI is becoming a daily tool.
Right, because it offers that immediate interaction and information.
Exactly. And as Robert pointed out, even Google search results are evolving.
And so I'm curious, guys. What are your thoughts there? I'll tell you. Well, you tell me your thoughts, and I'll tell you some more cool things that I see with this particular interface.
I'm still like totally impressed because we were a part of those actual 1 hour long podcast episodes with Robert and Seamus, and the fact that they were able to take all their words and concisely just find the nuggets, sift out all of. I mean, there was nothing really throwaway in what they said, but they have a way of organizing information and then making the nugget come out in a very concise way, saving us a ton of time. That's really the use case, I think, for it. So if you have a lot of information that's important and you want it, you want a synopsis of it, but in a concise way that's effective for the listener. This notebook LLM is such an amazing tool, and I think you'll find yourself using it in a lot of different ways. There are a ton of use cases for this.
Jim, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. It's not recommended to do it with our podcast, though. You should listen to the whole podcast of ours.
Exactly. The same thing.
Otherwise,
what a business.
I mean, I agree. I mean, it's amazing that what I liked about it was when Kelly interrupted, asked a question, kind of tried to knock them off what they were saying, and they were able to recover immediately, what seemed like immediately, and answer the questions. And it's so conversational, and it's to the point, and it's great. So I do think there's all kinds of things that our customers are going to be able to do with this, our clients and customers, to be able to just market in different ways and to attract and retain customers based on this kind of information that they can share. And then on top of that, internal things that they can use it for. So I really like it.
Yeah, what else? And I think what we could do is to post some of this on here. One of the things, once you go in and you feed it the information that it will use for the podcast, what was interesting is this time they have a customizable feature. So I was able to say how long I wanted the podcast to be. I'm also able to, as you guys can see, but on the video, on the screen, it can now take all of the information that I gave it because I tell them what sources I wanted to listen to, and it will give a study guide of what I've done. We can do a mind map. We can do an audio overview, which is what we just did. That's the audio overview. And we can even do a briefing doc. What we'll do is go ahead and have this and save it out to our website, Jim. I think that'd be a good document just so people can see might come from
what it looks like. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I was even impressed that they actually pronounced the Seamus part close. But they knew it was Seamus Smith. I didn't even know that. I pronounced his name Seamus Smythe because
no. Because when I put it in, I put SMITH. Clearly, I should have put the.
Okay. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Because he spells his last name SMYTH.
That's right.
But yeah, you trained it a little bit there. Okay, that's good.
The human in the middle, right? Okay, so I don't know. Do you guys want to continue with what the recap was, or do you want to just kind of noodle back and talk about what we think might be use cases here? All right. I just wanted to interrupt a little bit. Let's listen a couple of more minutes so you guys can see where they went to from here.
Okay. And Robert also made a point about how these large language models they don't remember individual searches. They learn from the massive amount of content that's already out there.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. For your brand to be recognized by AI, your content needs to be on multiple reputable websites.
Exactly. It's about building credibility across the internet and not just on your website. Robert emphasized the importance of reputation and UGC, user-generated content, on platforms like TikTok.
Okay.
AI is starting to look at customer reviews, social media sentiment, and all those mentions across different platforms.
So it's not just about what you say about your business. It's what everyone else says, too.
And this has major implications for businesses, especially smaller ones. Robert said that conversion rates are becoming more important than website traffic because AI can bring in higher quality leads.
So quality over quantity and really targeted messaging.
Right.
So what about specific AI tools? What'd they say about those?
Well, Robert was positive about chatbots, but he said they have to be used carefully. And with human oversight, he also talked about visual search through Google Lens being useful for e-commerce.
Uh-huh.
He saw some potential in AI-generated blog content, but again, with human review to make sure it aligns with the brand and provides real value.
Interesting.
And when it comes to more advanced things like video generation and digital avatars, he felt they weren't quite ready for widespread use.
Okay.
But he was really excited about AI for customer service. He gave examples like Amplify Voice for re-engaging cold leads, which can be very effective when trained properly.
So what was the main message Robert wanted to get across to business leaders?
He said there are two kinds of businesses, those using AI and those that will be closed. He was really emphasizing that leaders need to start using AI now integrated into their operations, train employees, and define specific use cases.
Wow, that's a powerful statement.
Yeah, if they don't, they risk becoming irrelevant.
Okay, so let's talk about Seema Smith. He had a slightly different take on AI search.
He said AI now does the search, the reasoning, and the communication. It's not returning a blue link, it's returning the answer.
That really highlights how much things have changed.
Oh.
It's not about being on the list of results. It's about being the answer.
Exactly.
And that completely changes how you need to think about your content and your online strategy.
Seamus emphasized that you need to write for the answer, not just the page. So instead of optimizing a whole web page, we need to optimize for specific outputs that AI might generate, like comparison tables, bullet points, or diagrams. AI algorithms are taking information from multiple sources to create those answers. So your content needs to be structured in a way that AI can easily use.
And he also mentioned that even with all this AI stuff, emotional connection and brand voice are still important.
Right. AI might not have emotions, but people do. And having a consistent brand voice helps you stand out in AI-generated summaries and builds trust with people.
And the old keyword strategy needs to change too. It's more about having a strategy first and then finding relevant keywords.
Yeah, Seamus compared a keyword-only approach to tunnel vision because AI algorithms understand the bigger picture, the intent behind the search.
So it's more about being relevant overall.
Right. And he also highlighted how voice search and AI assistants are becoming more popular. People are talking to their devices, which means content needs to be even more natural, conversational, and context-aware.
I hadn't really thought about how advanced voice assistants are getting. That's a huge shift. And visual search through Google Lens is also becoming really important.
Huge. Seamus said there are 20 billion visual searches per month.
Wow.
He gave the example of a picture of an HVAC unit. If that image isn't optimized with relevant info, a competitor who did optimize their visuals is going to get the service call.
Right, so it's important to optimize all those images.
Exactly. From your logo to your product photos, it's those little things that can make a difference.
He even talked about favicons.
Yeah, those along with local SEO and FAQs are tactical gold.
Yeah.
Your favicon might be the only thing representing your brand in an AI answer, and good local SEO is still crucial for attracting local customers.
Okay, and circling back to that human element, Seamus really stressed how important user-generated content is.
Yeah, he said, people trust people more than marketers. AI's starting to do the same.
So all those reviews, mentions, and even TikTok videos are signals that AI uses to determine trust and rankings.
Exactly.
And his final message was a real call to action for businesses.
It was, he said, AI doesn't hallucinate because it's lazy. It hallucinates when it can't find you.
Okay.
It really highlights the increasing value of authenticity online.
Seamus actually touched on that when he said, people trust people more than marketers.
Exactly. And in the age of AI, hey, yeah, what's up?
Okay, so you guys talked about marketers and how people don't trust marketers. As a marketer, I'm a little concerned. Talk to me through what you're actually seeing.
Oh, that's completely understandable. It's a sentiment seen as highlighted.
Yeah, he really put a spotlight on that shift in consumer trust.
What's fascinating here is how AI is actually amplifying that.
Right, because AI is starting to weigh user-generated content more heavily.
Exactly. Reviews and social chatter become crucial signals of trust.
So it's almost like AI is learning to value what humans value.
Precisely. It means the focus shifts from just broadcasting a message
To genuinely earning the trust of your audience.
Think about it. If AI is delivering answers, it will likely favor sources.
That are backed up by positive user experiences and authentic voices.
So your role as a marketer becomes less about pure promotion.
And more about fostering genuine connections and positive experiences.
Okay, guys, so that's a podcast on our podcast by AI. Are any of you concerned that your job's about to be replaced?
Yeah, I love his voice. I thought I had a good voice. He has an amazing voice.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Do they have Kelly? Do they have names or no? Unlike
No, they don't.
They don't.
They're not like Miles and
Maya.
So
yeah.
they're just notebook LLM kind of thing.
Yeah. It's
So-
the same voice every time. I heard that they were thinking about adding new personalities, but so
I'm
far.
sure they will. Yeah.
I like them. I mean, love the briefings, FAQs, study guides, all the extras. Plus, again, the ability to interrupt them and ask any question and just give them a second or so to collect their thoughts. But the answers they gave when you threw in your questions, again, very impressive. It blew me away, in fact. And to me, that's a huge value because the way they summarize everything really gets you to think of the questions. It got me thinking about all kinds of questions. I mean, it obviously didn't want to interrupt at that moment, but when you're playing with it at home, you could interrupt as often as you want and let them. It becomes a real conversation.
So it does and it doesn't. So I think at some point we should probably do an episode, John, on what AI works for different things, right? Because what you have to remember with this one is you've kind of trained it on the information.
Yeah.
Right? And so it might be valuable if, let's just play it out. This might be interesting for us to just talk about conversational AI. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if you're a business and you need to train your new sales force or you need to train your new customer service rep and they don't want to go through the classes that we had to before? What if you load everything up and you've set up, like Jim, you were saying, the guardrails in a notebook LLM, and then they play a podcast that's out. But like you, John, you're like, well, hold on, wait a minute, what about this? And then they come back and answer your question right there, real time, and then go right back because that's what they did, right? Then go right back into the planned programming. I think that could be a superb use case when this technology is out of like play mode, I think. But that I think would be an amazing use case. Did any more come to mind for either conversational AI?
Having gone through the actual interviews with Robert and Seamus, I mean, our conversations, being human, they meander, right? They go into different places, and and it's fine. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes you want to keep them in, but sometimes they're just filler. They end up being filler, and it really impressed me how they were able to filter all that out. Like you said, we fed them those podcasts and we summarized them to some degree, for them. But they still did a great job of synthesizing them into a cohesive conversation. So the listener really gets the best of all worlds. From a time-saving perspective, it's so concise that taking a 1 hour, pretty in-depth conversation with both of them. Actually, Seamus, I think, was an hour and a half, and bringing it down to 20 minutes of concise, important information that is actionable is impressive to me. I think anybody running a company can use that.
Yeah, I think it's important, John, because you may or may not know, I can be pretty verbose. It's funny, I'm the opposite. So am I talking, I'm so verbose. And when am I writing, I'm so net. Like, it's just like, yes, got it. And like, move on. And so
that's 80-20.
Yeah, AI has.
That's 80-20. Yeah, you're right, Jim. Yeah, 80-20.
AI can help me in both regards, right? Because sometimes people do need more information or to feel a little better than, I got it. Thank you so much for sending this my way. I appreciate it, and I will do it. Like you said, what do you say, Jim? How do you know when a email comes from
oh yeah, I hope this email finds you well. That one.
Yeah, that one. It's funny because that's how I write. Surprisingly,
I learned on your emails.
Yeah, right. I bet.
I didn't notice it until you guys told me that, and now everyone I see now, I hope this email finds you well. Yeah, is the opening line. Yeah,
So now I'm like, hope you're having a good morning.
yeah.
So in 3 months, we'll see that.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so for me, John, one of the things that just as you're talking, like a use case could be like take something that you need, train it, and then I don't know, like even having a one of the trainings could be like a video. I use Zoom a lot now, and I'll take my transcripts from Zoom and not the client facing ones, like if it's confidential information, but I find myself recording on Zoom because I'm more verbose that way.
Mhm.
And then I'll take those transcripts and kind of dump it into this. And I might use that to like only this. I don't want you to go in the universe. I want unique information gain content to go out about this topic. And here are my thoughts on it.
Mhm.
And then we can go to the end. Then we can go to the
I mean,
universe.
as I was listening to them, I was thinking, I flipped the pages back a few years, but I was thinking back in university days where the professors allowed you to record them. And I was in science. So every single word they said showed up on exams afterwards. If I could just put the tape recorder, and I used to do the tape recorder, put it up front, tape it, go home, and literally recopy every word he said. With this tool,
Weren't you studious?
no. Guys, if it's all, if
Went to class?
it was pre-med courses, every word was important. You'd be surprised how it showed up on the test afterwards. But anyway, a tool like this would summarize that in better than the professor could say it actually, and that's impressive. So if I'm at a conference or a convention in our industry, for example, if the speaker allows you to tape it, I would run, at least the important ones, I would run it through this tool, and I have my concise notes. And honestly, I don't even want to read sometimes. I just listen to it. I can listen to it in my car while I'm driving. So it comes down to anything.
And some people consume better listening as opposed to watching or whatever. And so, I mean, we've all mentioned training and those kind of things, but I think you could also, I mean, think about a CEO talking about, talking to their employees and then being able to write a newsletter afterwards or a recording of the tidbits, the takeaways, or being able to use some of those tidbits for social media or for, whatever, texts. I mean, there's so many different things you could do based on what you're able to gather off of that. It's really amazing. And I think it's just like we've said before, it's just going to get smarter and smarter. And the interruptions that you're able to do now, I mean, that, like Kelly said, it's in beta. So before it wasn't, you couldn't interrupt it. Now you can. So what's the next level? You know what I mean? Where maybe it's not interrupting, but actually having that whole conversation based on something you input where, Maya and Miles were just conversational. You really didn't add content ahead of time.
No.
Where this one you did. So now it's trained on that. And so you can have those conversations. So again, going back to training, bring somebody new in, or think about like a distributor that has 100 different brands that they sell, to be able to go in and ask questions and listen, but ask questions and dig deep and pause and those kind of things. I mean, or a sales tool in front of a client or a customer. You could with an iPad or an iPhone, you could ask questions right there. Does your product do this versus mine? Well, I don't know. Let me ask. And you ask the question, and boom, there it is.
Right.
Technology it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, going back to corporate life, I mean, you would get heads of departments. They're all busy. They're all off traveling, doing things. And they come back and say, and we tell them, oh, it was a great presentation by the head of marketing. And they say, oh, give me the briefing, or give me something where I can get the essence of it. Now you have it with a tool like this. You take
they have a briefing button.
Yeah.
So you get all those notes that you just talked about. Now give me a briefing.
Yeah.
They're just they're just so smart. We'll talk about you. I do think, John, it probably warrants a conversation, not just on conversational AI, but I'm sure the audience might be interested in understanding what things we have used AI for that maybe they haven't thought about to help inform them. And I know it's not necessarily about being found online, but I know we also do workshops on AI, and AI consulting is a part of what we do. And so somebody who, maybe have only used chat in a limited way, there's probably things you're probably not even using chat for that chat can do. Maybe just kind of introing it. And I don't know, Jim, maybe at the end of that, maybe offering a webinar. Maybe we can kind of coordinate
Sure.
a webinar to train people up on it.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely do an episode on interesting use cases that we've already used, either in our own business or just to help us out in everyday life. Things where we're using AI. You're right. It's not necessarily all about being found online, because we're all trying to figure our way around how to optimize all these AI ideas and tools. But these are all fundamental. If you don't understand the rudimentary parts of AI, we won't be able to apply it later to optimize our being found online.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I still think it's applicable.
Yeah, definitely is.
Yeah, so we'll do a future episode around a bunch of use cases and probably some fun ones in there too. We'll have a bit of a laugh. But this was another excellent episode. I enjoyed listening to the two of them. They don't have a name yet, but the Notebook LLM tool is something you'll definitely want to use going forward. I think that's pretty much a wrap. I'm looking forward to any feedback from our listeners. Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.